I really hadn't intended on doing any videos for a little while. I needed to handle the loss of my wife. And I thought, okay, let's sit down and watch some TV, something to relax. And because of Xfinity's new wonderful operating system, that's almost impossible. So, yesterday I went into Comcast and made some changes in my plan, and I came home and I watched some TV, and they said, "Oh, we're going to be changing some of your stuff." So when I come home and I sit down and I turn on the TV, and this is what I get, and you'll see it, and the so I go, "What in the?" Okay, fine. That's not a problem. So they're screwed up. So let's call them. Okay, so here's the number. Of course, they have to list it with the funny alpha. I would like it's much easier to type that. They don't list that, so I type up the so I call them. And it says you've got a 20 to 25-minute wait time before you get to talk to a person. Well, back up. First off, it says, "Oh, unplug your box or reset your box, and that should solve their problem." So I tried that. No, same thing. Right, comes right back. But it takes minutes for the to resetting the box and to for it to come back and say, "No, can't talk to anything." So your box is disabled. So then I call them a second time to go through, and this is what so this is on the screen, and you hear this.
All of our representatives are still assisting other callers. Please stay on the line for the next available representative.
Since the wait time is going to be so long, I decide, oh, there's a URL. Let's go try that. So there's the URL. And this is what happens when I try and go to the URL. So watch what happens when I try and go to the where I'm supposed to go to find out about errors. http://xfinity.com/errors. And I get the wonderful 404 page. Tells you a lot about Comcast. So I was going to talk about some of the features and misfeatures and hits and misses in their way their Xfinity works, and these speak for themselves. These clips, unfortunately, the video is kind of flaky because I was taking a picture of my television from my camera, which is sucky and doesn't work too well. But I normally don't do this, but I was just talking about Xfinity. Okay, I'm going to try and record a little bit about the Xfinity quote operating system. Let's talk about this piece of interesting software. So here we are. I've got CNN on, but let's bring the guide up so we have a tiny glimpse of CNN with Don Lemon. So these are my favorite channels, but if I go to the guide has an interesting feature. By default, it will go back to all channels, which is just a listing of all the channels in your area. So I find that sort of useless. And then you can go back and this will list only the HD channels. Why would you even, anyway, I can't ever see why I would want that one. And then this is the channels that I've favorited. And then we can go over here to what's trending. Okay, if you're into trending. And then we have movies and we have sports and we have kids. So I don't ever care about sports or kids, but let's go to movies. Now the movie one here has some interesting features. First off, I can go up to the filter and I can say, okay, show the stuff. Okay, I always have a problem because it's not intuitively obvious to me how this stuff works. So I have to hit right, free to me. I want to see only the free movies. These are the ones that are free to me, and these are the ones that are on right now. And notice how you've got a long list and it has to scroll right and left. And there is no way to fast forward through this list, which is fine. I can go up here though and I can say, oh, look at this. I can say genre. I just want to see, which would be fine, science fiction, which is what I kind of like. So I want to see what's on. So what are the free science fiction movies right now that are on? Okay, I've got X-Men, I've got Alien vs. Predator, and I've got The Cell, and I've got Sharknado 3. Okay, and then that's what's on now and what's coming up. So this gives me an idea of what's currently available showing right now. So let's exit the guide and let's go back into their on demand if we get out of here. So let's go on demand. Come on. Now you're seeing the wonderful speed of this quote operating system. It is just, to me, it's just terribly slow. So I go here. Okay, that's TV. And I click. And I click. And I wait. And I wait. And I wait. And it's still trying to think about what it's doing. So right now it's just locked up. I can't do anything. I can't exit out of this menu. I can't move forward out of this menu. This menu is just stuck. And this happens all the time. And so I'm sitting here going, okay, I can't really watch what's on TV, which I've got muted, but I can't get out of this menu and I can't move around this menu. And this happens so frequently that it's irritating. I mean, so what do? You have to sit and wait and wait and wait, and probably will come up and say in a minute, oh, I can't talk to the X1 operating system, which would be fine if I could exit out. You're getting the channel. If I could get back to my channel that I was watching, but I can't do that. I can't exit. I can hit the exit button. Nothing happens. I can hit the right arrow of the right and left and up and down, and it is just basically locked up. I was just going to show you how fast or slow or what the features were, but this is just what happens all the time. This happens all the time whenever I try and watch TV, and it's just a piece of crap. And it's before we upgraded to the X1 Infinity system, we had no problems. I mean, I could go through there, I could click to channels. This is their new quote operating system, which is a pile of crap. And you just sit there and go, what is this? I can't see what's on TV. I can't get out of a menu. I'm stuck in a menu. Somebody who does this doesn't understand. The people who program this are just incompetent, or they have no clue about what a user interface is like. Because this is unacceptable. That you can't, there we go. Oh, we're having trouble connected to X1. See, this is what I said would happen. Oh, finally it came back. So now let's go back to the guide. We're having trouble connecting to the X1 platform. So you're stuck. I cannot change channels. Let's try change. I can't go up a channel. I can't go down a channel because it can't go, I can't talk to the servers or something. So this is, just the way the X1 operating system works. Okay, let's talk about the Xfinity quote operating system, because that's what they're saying it is. So I'm going to bring up the on demand here. So we have the on demand. So if I go to movies, which is fine, then I can see my featured movies, new and most popular, whole separate category of free movies, kids movies, now in theaters, recommended for you, browse all movies by genre. So I can browse by genre. So, okay, so again, we have all movies, action, adventure. Now notice that there is no way to fast forward through this list. And this is the blinding speed of their operating system. So we come in here and come on. There we go. It paused. Come on. You can do it. So it's just really, really slow. And you can't remove any lists from this list or rearrange them. By genre, they're going to be stuck in there, and maybe I'm going to be stuck again because I've crapped out a couple of times with. I've even checked the cables, and yes, I am now stuck. Comcast, with all my cables, I checked my cables and tightened up the cables, and still we're crap. So, and it used to work. Before we upgraded to their new operating system, we didn't see any of these problems. Same television, same wires, just they changed their cable box and try the new thing. So got the new box, and it's just awful. And right now I'm stuck. I can't talk to anything. I gotta wait for this thing to time out. So we'll sit here and talk. Just makes it very frustrating if you just want to watch something on TV, you should be able to turn it on and watch TV. And you can't, because I can't figure out what's on, because the cable guide just keeps locking up. It's absolutely awful. And I'm stuck on this thing, and mind you, this is how long it takes for them to say that there's a problem. And there is no way to exit out of this. You cannot exit out of this. You're stuck here. Oh, there we go. We're having trouble connecting to the X1 platform. So now we bring the guide. See, I press guide. I press last. Okay, what was last? Having problems. Now, press Xfinity. Can't get to anything because the operating system is broken. Okay, let's show something that really works from Comcast. So let's click on this nice little bandwidth test. So here we go. This is recording, and we say, let's just try this, begin the test. So it's picking a server, and you start to see we're pinging. We got 17 millisecond ping rate, and we're getting, there we go. And actually it's low tonight, because normally I'm running 125. So I'm only getting a 95, 97 download. And the upload speed is we're getting about 10, maybe 11 or 12. But it shows us that we're getting 12. So that gives us that gives us our bandwidth speed. We got 95 megabit download, 95 megabit per second download, and a 12.21 megabit upload, which is fine, which is actually not a bad speed. As you've seen from the bandwidth test, I get a fairly reasonable speed. Actually, when I reran it again, going to a different server, I was getting 126 megabits per second download speed and 12.4 megabits per second upload speed. So I get a great speed for, I'm not sure how the value of what I've got, but I've got I'm at right now, I've got a nice internet speed going up and down on there. The cable and TV, if I stick to my favorites and just go from channel to channel, and for me it's normally I'm a news junkie, so I watch a little bit of news and so on. I watch a little bit of news and I watch a few other shows. If I stay on those channels, it seems to work okay. It's slow. That's the thing that is really bad about the whole Comcast thing. I changed because of the changes in my life. I changed some of the plan we had, and of course that's where I got the total timeout, the wait, and that's why I get the 404. So I'm just sort of befuddled because, why can't they, with their cable, which they're a cable company, why is their cable so bad? And well, let's talk about. I was going to put together a video. I think I was planning before certain things happened. I was going to call it "Tale of Two Routers." And what happened is I was comparing Xfinity's router, modem, whatever, to the other modem, the other router that I bought, and it's just amazing the difference. What happened was, I get an email from Comcast telling me I've got an older modem, which is true. I knew I had an older modem, but I was doing fine. So I said, you ought to upgrade to the modem and we'll do this, and you get a router built in and things like that. And if you go to the website, it talks about a 2.4 and a 5 gigahertz router. So I said, okay, fine. I've got a lot of my equipment now is on 5 gigahertz, and I thought, but I ought had an old 2.4 Netgear router, and an N, 802.11.N, and I thought, okay, we'll upgrade the router. I'll get the Comcast one. And this huge big box comes. It's massive. And first off, the box is massive, and then the router itself is this huge monster. And of course, for those of you who aren't aware, what happens is it actually sets up two networks, one in your home and one that it broadcasts to everybody else out in the world. It's called Xfinity, so it gets coverage. And there's a way to turn it off if you go turn it off. So what happened was I first brought it in and I connected up the modem, and everything seemed to work. I was working fine with my Netgear wireless router, and I was figuring I'll move over to the Comcast. And then I go, wait a second, there's no 5 gigahertz in here. So I go through reading everything else, and no, we don't have 5 gigahertz in your area, so whatever. So fine, I'll go buy a 5 gigahertz router. So I did. I bought a TP-Link router, and I try and plug it in. Mind you, it was working fine with a Netgear router. And then I plug in the TP-Link, and it doesn't work at all. And there's something about the combination. It works if you turn the Comcast modem, so I still broadcast to everyone. If you turn that off, it won't work with a TP-Link router. because it still wants to be able to broadcast out there in that situation. If you get a netgear router, you can turn it off. So I go, okay, I decided I bought a little cable modem, and it works much better. It's back down to a little teeny box, and it's Aris router, and it works, plugs in, gets things like that, works fine. And now I've got a fine 5 gigahertz network set up, and it 5 gigahertz and a 2.4, and it all works. But the Comcast router is just truly awful, and I don't understand how their router is so bad, because they lock it down. Oh, the inside of it, you've got in theory, a whole bunch of options which are disabled. And I wanted to be able to control my MAC, control what MAC addresses could attach remotely and wirelessly. And it was just, everything is locked down. Everything is locked down because Comcast wants to have complete control of that, so that they can basically use your router as an access point to everyone. And for me, I was sitting here, my living apartment complex, the 2.4 gigahertz range, all the channels are saturated. They're just really bad. And the 5 gigahertz, there's only one that I saw when I was doing the scan. So I really wanted to go to 5 gigahertz, and I thought I would upgrade. So anyway, I upgraded. I've tried everything. And now their cable box. I tried their X1 cable box, and it's just a piece of crap, because their old box, you had buttons, remote control, which would wear out. That was the one thing that was good. There are a couple of things that are good about Comcast. One, your remote would wear out because you hit the buttons, and so you'd take the remote down and go, it's wore out, and they give you another one. Rather than making them more durable, which would have been a more intelligent thing to do, no, they give you another one of these things that wears out after a while. And so, particularly if you're a button masher, and you're doing a lot of surfing, and but their new X1 operating system is crap. It really is crap, because the same setup, you should be able to change the cable box out and put a new cable box in and get it working and do some setup. You'd think that it needs to know a few things about what other things to control, but no, they can't you can't surf. Basically, trying to watch a premium channel for me, or watch HBO or Showtime, you got to go through the normal guide. Trying going through sorting and searching sometimes will work, but most of the time won't. It'll just lock up, and you'll get this, can't talk to Xfinity. And anybody who has programmed stuff to handle errors should recognize that you're still streaming the channel. The channel's in the background. You can see it behind these error messages that are there. So it's still getting the cable, but it's the operating system won't let you out. There is no way to get out. So I can't go back to just watching my show. And the one that I can't get, one thing that I wanted to do, which is the one that drives me totally batty. Okay, I'm a night owl, and the thing will pop up, but normally between 2 and 3 in the morning, and it will pop up and gray the whole screen, transparent gray, so you can see the movie that's going on or whatever you're watching, and then it will say, it's time to reset your box. So if you reset it, they claim it can take 10 minutes to reset your box, but you reset your box and it has to go back and talk to all the servers and figure out what programming is going on. So if you're watching something at that time of the morning, you can't, because they have to reset their box, and they don't understand the needs of a user. They don't understand why you would want, did usability studies of how these menus work? You can sometimes sort on genre, sometimes you can't. You can't fast forward through this thing, you hold the button down, you got to press it every time. It won't repeat. None of the keys on the remote repeat. It's just painful to use. So this is my review of Comcast. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I just wanted something to relax, because I'll be honest, I've been stressed out and lots of challenges this past week. And I just wanted to watch some television. And Comcast, I'm paying what I think a lot for, doesn't deliver. If you like my video, press the thumbs up button. I'd appreciate that. Or if this interests you, you can always subscribe to my channel. There's a button right above. I look forward to hearing some comments. Tell me what you think about this, and I'll try and reply, and we can see if I'll do some more of these. Thank you.